Good morning, everyone. Rhonda with Ideal Body Image, Ideal Weight Loss. I'm doing a little cooking video today. It's been a while, but I have my husband here to help me be cameraman, so I thought we could make some apple pie. Me and Nay have been playing with this recipe for a while, and who doesn't love apple pie? Very easy. Going to get our veggies in with Chayote. We laugh all the time because even with the last ice storm, what was left in the store, Chayote apples were. We carry some KBosh crusts. This one is just plain cauliflower. We have a dessert crust, we have a pumpkin crust, there's a chocolate crust. I have found the recipe is great no matter which crust you use. You get 2 in a container and they come frozen, so I always leave them out for just a little bit. You separate them with these little plastic things. And then if it is frozen, be sure you take this little guy off because inevitably I have stuck him in the pan. So what we need is a good pie pan. You want either a big one or a deep one because we're going to put a lot of mixture in here. So we're just going to spray the bottom of the pan and we're going to stick our crust in there. And we're going to stick this in the oven while we get going with our apples. So all we're gonna do, again, depending on if you want half a cup servings or you want full cup servings, get your handy dandy scale. Chayotes weigh 5.6 ounces for a cup. So I have 22 ounces here. I use the skin and everything. I've already washed it. So I just cut it in half. I cut my half in half. And then I just slice it based on the size that me and Roland like it or whatever I'm feeling that day. There's no right or wrong. Y'all know that's how I do most everything. And just give it a nice rough chop. Make sure you put it in a microwave safe bowl. I think it takes longer to, actually it takes longer to cook the apples than anything in this whole recipe once you get your pie in the oven. So, got a couple more chayotes to chop up here. And again, you actually could, if you wanted all 2 cups of your vegetables, you could add more chayote. Just measure your vegetables and count it up. Some people don't, they have no problem getting their lunch veggies in, so the half a cup serving works really well. This is also a recipe that's really easy to double. I don't always do it in a pie crust. Sometimes I do it in a 9x13 pan and I lay those 2 crusts together and just make it long. It's almost like an apple crisp, but it's really yummy. So once we get your apples all chopped, then we're going to stick this in the microwave. I do it in 3-minute sessions. Again, sometimes some people like their apples real crisp in an apple pie. Other people like them soft. So what I tell people, if you like a crunchy apple, microwave it about 3 minutes. If you like a softer apple, do it 3, stir it, and do it 3 more. So, apples are chopped. We're gonna stick this in the microwave as is. If it has a cover, you can put it on there. I just use my little microwave cover that my husband probably moved, sorry. I just find it helps soften them if it's kind of covered. So we're gonna let that go for 3 minutes. Then I like to just check on my crust. The longer, you really can't burn the crust, so I just let it bake for the time that my apples are cooking. So the other things that we're going to need in this is apple concentrate. This is great because there are no fat, no carbs, 15 protein, 60 calories. So we're going to use 2 of these. The KBosh crust combined with a Knox gelatin and egg white are going to equal our other protein. So we got 3, and then we're going to top it with either or. You can use our school cereals. The apple pie is a good one, or I really like the salted caramel as well. So while my apples are cooking, I'm going to go ahead and just use my rolling pin, and I'm going to mush up what's going to be the topper of the apple pie. The other things that that you need, and again, this is all about what do you have in your pantry. Caramel syrup is easy to find, so it's great and works really well. Some people have bought the apple butter and absolutely love it, so if you have it and not this, it's interchangeable. Other people have bought it and don't love it. This is a great way to use it. You're going to use 4 tablespoons of either or, it does not matter. You could even do 2 and 2. This does have a nice apple flavor, but you're also going to use apple pie spice, so however you fill in the gap is fine. So again, our biggest thing is we got to let our little apples get nice and soft. Hopefully everyone survived the crazy ice weather we had last week, and now we're ready to get back into things. Getting our veggies in is always a good tip and trick, however to get them in. These apples are also really good on French toast. You can use them any kind of way you want. They've got about a minute left. What I also do is I'm going to go ahead and pull my crust out. I stuck my crust in obviously a little before I started chopping the apples. I like the crust to cool just a smidge. So again, it already looks pretty brown when you put it in there. You can do it longer if you want it. It's always fine though. I just find the longer you bake it, sometimes the better it holds together once you're done and you're cooking. So now then our microwave is just about done. So we have our apples piping hot, kind of steamy. Again, if you like them softer and you have a little more time, you can leave them in there and let them seep. You can also run them through another 3 minutes if you want. Roland likes his apples kind of crispy, so I go ahead and just do them the 3 minutes. So give it a stir, and you can tell how crunchy or soft they are, so you can always do it a little longer. They are warm, so if you're going to use the apple butter, it's fine because it's going to help melt it. Just put the apple butter in there quickly. I'm going to use the caramel today just because it's open and it's easy. So we're going to go 2 tablespoons of the Walden's caramel syrup. And I like to get everything out, and I'll use that again. We're going to go 1/2 teaspoon. And again, this is one of those things, if you want to use more apple pie spice, you totally can. You're going to use your 2. Sometimes if your apple concentrate has been sitting, you'll find that the stuff kind of separates. So I just like to make sure it's all together. So we're going to open this and pour this in. 1. And I took y'all's advice. I have printed this recipe. Roland's going to focus in on it after we get our pie in or out of the oven. The other piece of this that we're going to do, once we get this in our pie crust, you are going to, kind of the last step is you top it with your crushed caramel balls or puffs. You can do that. I like to do it the last like 10 minutes that it's cooking. You can wait till it's completely cooked and put it in there too. Either one worked. Now we're going to add our gelatin. And lastly, our 1/3 cup of egg white. So this gives us the liquid that we need to make sure we have a nice little pie filling. You can use a bigger bowl if you don't want to, you know, struggle with making stuff not flip out. I just was easy, microwave safe, so I figured I'd use this one. So get it all stirred up and well incorporated. You want to make sure your gelatin isn't clumped as well, because that'll be the only thing that would do a weird deal, is if some of your gelatin is clumped. So stir, stir, stir. Sometimes I'll even stir the apple pie spice and the chayote before I add all the liquid, just to make sure my apples are well coated. I have another white bowl that has a lid. Sometimes I'll stick it on there and shake it all up. So doesn't matter how you get there, as long as you get there. So all stirred up, nice and incorporated. So now what you want to do is get your pie crust. Just make sure he's not too hot from coming out of the oven. And we're going to pour all of this. That's why I do say you want to make sure your pie pan is either deep or wide. I made 2 of these. My other one is a deeper pie crust, where this one is a wider, so they both accommodate all my filling. And when you cook this, you're going to cook it a total of 30 minutes, but what I did was I put it in there, and about 20 minutes after it's been baking, I opened the oven, took it out, and I sprinkled my crushed caramel all over the top. Nay likes to wait till hers is done cooking, and then she puts it on there and kind of packs it down. Again, no right or wrong. So we're gonna stick this in the oven set your thing for 20 minutes so you can check on it. And here's what it's gonna look like when it's all done. So it's nice and hot. It's gonna cool. Obviously you want it to cool and it will kind of gel up. The funnest part of this is you literally get a 1/4. So 1/4 of this pie is a serving. It's a protein and a cup of vegetables. So not too shabby. You can have it for breakfast, you can have it for lunch, you can have it for PM snack. If you don't do milk anywhere else, you could do your dollop of your whipping cream. So here's the ingredients. Take a picture of this so you'll have it. You can also text me or any of the coaches and we can send you over a copy. So enjoy apple pie on this lovely wet day. And I'll try to do more videos with more fun recipes. Thank you guys.